Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bo. I'm from Danske Bank in Copenhagen, Denmark. I'm not sure if any of you heard of Danske Bank before, but we are a small, big bank. We're the biggest one in Nordics. We are nothing compared to the Barclays and Citi and so on and so on. But I wanted to share with you some of the stuff that we're doing in procurement in Danske Bank today, which is at least we think is pretty cool. And I know that the traditional procurement people sometimes think that we are a bit crazy, and if you think that, it's a compliment. Within the financial services today, it's a world which is changing very, very rapidly, and you probably know this guy, Bill Gates, who said, the world needs banking. We don't necessarily need banks to do it with. And that's a pretty strong statement for somebody like us. Everything within the banking industry is changing. Mobile payments, money transfers. It's not going to take that long before you will be paying your bills on Facebook or LinkedIn. There's actually a social website in China, which is kind of like a mix between Facebook and LinkedIn. And they're getting something like $19 million deposited a day into their money transfer system. A day. 22 months ago, 0. So we're in a tough spot. Another thing, you might have heard of this company as well called Google. Larry said that companies will decay slowly if you keep on doing the things, improving the stuff you're doing, slightly, this continuous improvement. It's basically bollocks. You need to change it much faster. You need to be much more. Do it faster. Think big and multiply by 10. So change is coming. The world is changing. The world is getting smaller. The access to the internet is growing rapidly. Technology is changing. You can basically do everything on your phone today. You have access to the world's knowledge through that little thing. But we use it to take pictures of our kids and put it on Facebook. Isn't it? People are changing as well. So, what has this to do with you? What has this to do with procurement? Well, our thesis, that procurement is changing, and if we don't change with it, we're going to lose out. So we need to start doing something drastic, and we need to start thinking about procurement in a different way than we will always be doing. There is no question that something is going to come around and going to disrupt the way we do procurement. And I'm pretty sure it's going to happen to all of us. It doesn't really matter what kind of business, if we, automated financial industries or whatever it is. So what are you going to do? Some of you were talking about how procurement was perceived by the business. And I think this comes around, through any categories that, procurement comes like, it's okay, we're from the government, we're here to help. We're seen as a bottleneck, Usually, and that's usually because procurement comes into the process too late. It's about savings. We need to get the right price. We need to put it in some sort of a process. You have to do it by, here's the process that you do, Mr. Business. This is how you buy things. And we're going to tell you how to do it. And if you don't do it, you're non-compliant, and we're going to escalate it, and you're in trouble. Then it's about the contract. It has to be on our T's and C's, and our contract template, and yada, yada, yada. That's why we think, and we mean, that procurement must contribute to top-line revenue and customer experience. We basically think it's naive not to. And this is not just about procurement, but any back office function in an organization. Everybody, if you want to stay ahead, everybody within a company needs to contribute to revenue. Otherwise, it gets too expensive. So this is the stuff that we're working on in Danske Bank, and we have basically identified 6 different categories, things that we're going after. And I'll go into more details about these onwards, but it's basically about white labeling procurement capabilities. It's to facilitate what we call partner-enabled innovation. Develop ways to contribute to customer journeys, customer experience. Run disruptional workshops, and that's internal disruptional workshops. It's about how people, basically within procurement, within legal and so on, how they can start thinking differently. Build a crazy idea catalog. And go around meeting people like you, go around, what's the crazy stuff going on out there, and bringing that back home to the business. And then to find ways to secure procurement intelligence, to learn from others. And this is the first thing. How can procurement contribute to top-line revenue? And we've been thinking a lot about this, and we actually, and this is one of the stuff that we came up with, and this is actually something which we're doing today. And I can give you an example. What's your name, sir?
David.
David. You own a medium large company, and you come to us because we're your bank. You say, Mr. Danske Bank, I'm thinking into buying a new ERP system, and I want you, Danske Bank, to finance that. Sure, we'll finance it. And previously, this was what banks did. They finance stuff like that. And there's a concept which we call part of life. And our part of your life was at the moment when you needed the money to buy that system. Then we thought, how can we broaden that? How can we be a bigger part of your life? So we will go to you, we'll finance your ERP system, but included in the package is that we will send one of our best IT procurement guy and spend time with you and make sure that you will buy that ERP system for the right price, on the right contract. The consultants implementing the system will be at the right hourly rates, etc., etc. So what is that? This is basically we're taking procurement capabilities, monetizing them, putting that as a product in front of the business, which the business can take to our clients and sell. Therefore, we are contributing to top-line revenue. This is such a, we've been doing this now for about 4 months. And demand is so high that we cannot cope. We cannot cope. So then somebody asked me, what about, then you're competing with the McKinseys and Gardners and so on. So yeah, we are. But not at the same rates, not at the same price. And you as a corporate client with Danske Bank, probably going to trust us a little bit more than you will McKinsey, and because those consultants, they come in, they give you the golden ideas and so on, and then they're out. We argue that we have a relationship that spans longer than any relationship with a procurement consultancy or a management consultancy or whatever. Sounds crazy? Are any of you doing this?
Sorry, I can ask a question.
Yeah.
So how does it work? The bank gives the money to the client, and the client spends that money with your procurement expertise?
It could be done in 2 ways. We will finance that system that this company wants to buy. Included in the financing can be the procurement part, the procurement services, or that could be invoiced differently, separately. So yes and no.
how do you measure the procurement services? So if I'm paying for them, suddenly it's not a freebie to make sure that the bank gets a good rate of return on its investment. Suddenly I'm paying for professional services.
Yeah.
What if you help me choose the wrong system?
You will. We're not gonna tell you which system to buy. You will make the decision.
Okay. So what are you doing?
So why are we doing it?
What are you doing then?
We're going through the procurement, probably like you're doing at ITV today, is that you're not telling the business what to do. You're giving the business the argument and the reason.
I'd recommend. If I wasn't recommending something, what am I doing there? If I'm just giving them
you're recommending
process, then it's a waste of time.
Are you recommending the IT guys what the best IT system is?
Yeah.
You are?
I am now. Otherwise, what value am I adding? They might disagree with me, we'll have a debate about it, but if the team don't have an opinion on what we're buying, I don't know what we're doing.
We will definitely have an opinion. But we will not tell the IT guys, which, should be better at IT than we are. Would you argue?
They might be better at IT. We're talking about developing the system. We're not talking about building the system. We're talking about, in the round, what the best system is.
Well, we will come with our arguments on what we believe is the best commercial agreement to get into.
Oh, okay. But I just want to come back to my question. How do I measure whether you've done a good job? How do you contract with the company who wants to buy the ERP system?
We will enter into a professional services agreement, and we will do our best to make sure that the client will get the best deal for that system.
Okay. So it's just like McKinsey's?
Yes.
But cheaper?
Yeah. But we'll be making the money, not McKinsey. We have also done something which is we're going in and going on a deep dive, IT deep dives on top 20 IT contracts that our clients have. And even on a bad day, our IT procurement guys in Danske Bank, or Danske Bank is one of the biggest IT companies in the Nordics. We are the second largest client of IBM. I think IBM is here in the Nordics. So we believe that we're pretty good at it.
So if you, obviously the skill set changes there in the team, doesn't it? So it's quite interesting because working as a consultant is different to probably what you call a standard procurement team.
Absolutely.
So how do you manage the transition then with the staff, the team?
Sorry.
Another thing is that we have built a price engine for the business. The business is and then as a bank, we're white labeling all sorts of services, post-trade services, settlement services, etc. We've built an engine together with our group finance to identify all the cost elements within selling such a product and benchmark it to the competition. And therefore, we've given them a model where the business can actually better price the different products they're selling, and giving them a better transparency into the cost elements of those services they're buying. We're also within the financial services. There's this category called market data, and we're also selling that services, market data services, to our clients. Big oil companies, for example, that's basically one big commodities desk, and we're selling the market data for that. How can we contribute to customer experience or customer journey? Let's say that, David, again, you are a slightly smaller company this time, and you need to answer to RFP, which is extremely important to you. You don't do it maybe twice a year, once a year. We can therefore give you access to RFP, RFQ specialists that would help you out in that process. or that project. Or you need to send out an RFP. We can help you with that. And this is a typical procurement capabilities that we are making available to the business. Partner-enabled innovation, we want to facilitate, and we are facilitating the interaction between our partners. It could be a vendor, it could be a client, it could be even a competition, where we're asking our partners to help us identify and meet our clients' unknown needs and wants. We cannot do this in every category. There's limiting resources and so on, but we're trying. There are several categories, for example, IT, where we can do this. We are asking our vendors specifically to be better at sharing their roadmaps, new future technologies. We're putting our vendors, our partners, together with the business to putting them together to solve a specific challenge or a problem. And we're integrating this as a part of the existing vendor management procedures that we have. We have approximately 80 vendors that are part of our vendor management system, where we are managing the vendors as much as possible. And we have now integrated this into the vendor management system. So, does this require a new type of procurement professionals? Yeah. There's a different and a increased business acumen that is needed for those people. They need to be arm in arm with the business. Some of the things that we've changed in Danske Bank procurement is that the procurement department doesn't sit somewhere in the back. Procurement is scattered throughout the business and sitting out with the business. And therefore, procurement is often in the relationship meetings with our clients, the same clients that we're trying to sell on procurement services. Needs to be innovative and a much more and different type of networking. Does it then require a new procurement organization? Yeah. Again, arm in arm with the business, much more than at least we were doing it. And this is one of the things that we have found is extremely important. We need to have common KPIs with the business. Previously, we saw again and again the business had a KPI saying you need to increase business by X%. And then procurement had a different KPI saying you need to find savings for this and this and that. It's not going to match. So we've spent a lot of time in trying to identify this and to work with the business to agree on common KPIs. And it's about being agile in a totally different way. We have also implemented something we call fast track. And I was actually talking to the contract management guys. Where are you? 89% of our spend is covered by contracts. This is spend which is above £5,000. We have approximately more than 200,000 contracts in our contract management system, and approximately 80,000 vendors. So you need to be different, agile in a different way, and therefore we have implemented something which is called fast track. So we have a playbook. So if the business and a vendor, if it's a current vendor, if it fulfills certain criteria, the business can just go ahead with themselves. Don't need to involve procurement. And again, networking. What are the others doing? I mentioned before the disruption or idea catalog or the idea catalog of crazy ideas. This is some of the stuff we're working on. being a bank as we are today, we're very much a technology company. We're actually working on now, together with IBM, on a kind of like a Napster. Do you guys remember Napster? So what we're basically doing is that we're trying to work with software vendors on, when we're buying software suites, let's say that it includes 10 different products, software types. And as in many places, you're never going to implement all 10. So there's maybe 3 that are just hanging there unused. So we want to create a universe or a place where we can place those unused software somewhere for somebody to pick. Like the Napsters, where you were sharing music and videos and movies and so on. Why not to do that with software? We have moved very much into creating and being part of all sorts of networks, events like this, category-specific events where we are meeting other procurement people, typically within financial services, closing the doors and pitching about, I don't know, Bloomberg or the FSA or whatever, and finding common ways to go forward. Probably seen this before. It doesn't really matter if, every morning in Africa, a gazelle wakes up. It knows that it must outrun the fastest lion or it will be killed. At the same time, every morning in Africa, a lion wakes up. It knows that it must run faster than the slowest gazelle or it would starve. So it's basically, it doesn't matter if you're a lion or a gazelle. When the sun comes up, you better start running. And this is what we're working on now. We're trying to do this in a different way. So this is what I wanted to share with you guys. So if there are any questions or comments or you want to have me admitted.
I have a question for you. Two questions, I guess. First of all, recognizing that it's fairly new what you're doing and certainly sounds very interesting, how are you going to manage the talent internally? Because I know if I had a choice point to make between good people serving the firm that I work for or good people serving a client of the firm would want the talent to go in one direction. And the second part then is, if you get somebody who is used doing the outsourced procurement, is there a risk that might be more sexy, more adventurous, that they actually don't want to do the day job and they just want to stay on that side of the fence?
Yeah, it is. And again, we have approximately 100 persons in our procurement department. 19 of those that are there here now, they were with Danske Bank 5 years ago. So it's a totally different talent pool. Not totally, but a different way of working. And yes, there are some of the people are much better at working internally, and some of them are much better working externally. This is fairly new, and it is a risk that somebody say, I would much rather be out talking to clients than talking to some dusty IT guys. And it is a challenge, but we need to manage it somehow.
Can I just ask of you actually, which do you think that they would rather do? So given that choice, which would the business rather have the good procurement people doing, selling to clients or working for the business?
I'll look at it through two different lenses. So my previous firm, and we had people that had that capability. I actually went out and so the previous firm was Royal Mail. Royal Mail owns GLS, European companies, yeah. So doing work for GLS was always sexy and exciting, and foreign travel was involved in it, and it was really cool. And they kind of got thought more of because they were being paid for. So if you're paying for services, you tend to value them, even if it's the same level of service you're getting as opposed to free issue. So I kind of found with my guys that when they get the taste for this, it appealed more to their entrepreneurial skills. Those that didn't really warm to it actually tended to be those that were in their comfort zone and wanted to stay what they were doing. And to your point, it's hard to blend it. You can very easily, I don't mean lose them from the organisation, but you can lose their heart and soul if they get absolutely wedded to doing the external work. And it's a tricky one.
Yeah, but imagine all the advantages of being able to, what I mentioned before, broaden the part of life with the clients. The client relationship gets so much stickier. We are so much different than the competition. The business loves this to pieces.
I'm not sure though that you made a point earlier on, and I think you picked up on it as well. If I heard it correctly, you're targeting your market quite cleverly, because I don't think you are competing with McKinsey, because I think you're competing with small to medium-sized enterprises that don't have centralised procurement.
Yeah, that's basically, we're basically going after or those organizations or those clients, corporate clients that we're working with. It's like in Scandinavia, it's from top 50 and down. Yeah. They don't have that big of a procurement or non-procurement capabilities within their organizations. So they might hire a procurement consultant for this one big project, or they might go with us. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.